This month, the month of November, Kelley Gant is our Artist of the Month, and so on the last Thursday of the month, we come here to the Uptown Lounge and kind of do a little Q&A and showcase performance for our Artist of the Month. We thank you for coming tonight and welcome to Kelley. I met her very briefly at one of these events where Stacy Bush was our Artist of the Month, and Kelley was the vocalist that accompanied her on her presentation that evening. So I haven't had the privilege of seeing her perform out in public yet, but that's going to change real soon. In the course of reading about Kelley, I found out that we have quite a few things in common, even though we're probably 40 years apart in age. I love swing band and big band music, and I wondered why you were drawn to that genre. Of all the genres of music, why were you particularly drawn to big band, jazz, swing music?
It's a tough question to answer. I know that the moment that I remember really loving it for the first time was watching a commercial for a collection of Nat King Cole songs, which I actually was able to find on YouTube in a flash. I've never seen it again since then, but it was 1990, and I know because we've not yet moved from one house to another, so it's easy to kind of pinpoint. And I went and I looked at it again earlier this month, and it's Nat King Cole, his beautiful face, he's singing Mona Lisa, and it fades out, and it goes through a couple of songs, and I had to have a Nat King Cole CD after that. And I don't know what it was about it, other than his charisma and his voice were just so great, but I didn't write down the phone number or anything to call off and order it for $16.99. So my mom took me to the mall, and we found Unforgettable with Love, and that was Natalie Cole's collection of her dad's best known songs. And that album really got me started. So he was sort of the entry way, but then she was singing in a register that I could sing along with, and it was all big band arrangements, and just had so much energy and momentum all the way through it. And I think I also really loved just the feel of a swing beat. That always felt really natural to me.
I've always loved, my mother was a big band singer back in the 40s before I was born, but she always played that music around the house when I was growing up as a kid. And I loved it, but I didn't know anything else until later. Big band swing music. And my mother's favorite singer was Edie Gourmet. Mm-hmm. She thought Edie was the singer. And I've always loved Ella Fitzgerald. I tell Siri to play Ella Fitzgerald all the time. And I understand that's one of your favorite vocalists. What is it about Ella, of all of these vocalists, that
just Ella's voice is clear as a bell, and her style to scat and improvise is incredible. So as a young singer, it was very aspirational to listen to Ella. I thought, no one could approach her.
And she can sing. I mean, I was listening to her the other day singing A Tisket a Tasket, which is a children's song, of course. And the way she wails on that song and makes it sound like a jazz standard, I mean, it's just magic. So I think that this genre of music and this style of singing is timeless. And I was telling her earlier, she makes it look so easy, like it's effortless. And I'm imagining that takes some discipline and some practice.
Yeah, and I think I don't want to age myself, but I have been singing with bands for almost 30 years now. So I started very young,
I'm gonna say.
Since I was the weird kid that was singing Natalie Cole on repeat and did Route 66 in the third grade talent show, my teachers, my band instructor, I played French horn, he knew that I was a big fan of jazz, so he put me on stage with our junior high jazz band to sing Misty. So I started, in junior high.
A lot of the artists that I interview, even bluegrass artists, a lot of them had classical training at the conservatory or Berkeley or whatever. I understand you did not have that classical education. What is it? All public school education through?
Yeah, 100%. I grew up in Wichita, Kansas, and I went to a high school that was just a regular public high school, but we did have a great faculty teaching choral music and instrumental music. So I got a good head start. We were really, really a good choir, you know, going to competitions and just blowing away.
Do they even do that in public school anymore?
Yeah, you're not supposed to name a winner, but everybody gets a grade, everybody gets a score. So during that time, I studied art music, like arias and so forth, and I took lessons and did well with that, but I always preferred jazz. And then when I went to college, I went to Kansas State University, and I did not study music, but I knocked on the jazz director's door, Wayne Goins, and asked him if I could take a class that he couldn't let me take because I wasn't a music major and they have rules. But he let me audition to be in the combos and expected me to fail, which I had no idea. I was very naive. I said, "Oh, thanks, great, okay, I'll go learn these. Well, I already know these 10 songs, I'll be ready." And so I got sort of an informal education through him, teaching me more about how jazz is constructed and getting a lot of just, you know, on my feet training there.
One of the legs of our mission is mentorship, both mentoring and being mentored. Would you consider him your
Yes, he was
most
my
prominent mentor?
Definitely.
Are you in a position to mentor? Have you mentored anyone? If you've been doing this for 30 years now.
No, I haven't yet. I don't know if anyone's out there.
Wants to be mentored.
Yeah.
Collaboration is another. I note that right before the pandemic, you had a series called The
Spine Showcases.
Spine Show that was facilitated by the Charlotte Street Foundation. Is that something that you are still doing or would like to continue to do? Did that get derailed by?
It
I
did.
would think by
it was a
pandemic?
casualty of the pandemic. But Charlotte Street Foundation funded that partially, and I funded the rest of it through donations and a Kickstarter that I ran in 2019. We rounded things up at the end of the year, and then we were going to work at a restaurant that was going to open that is still an empty spot now. So yeah, everything just sort of fell apart from there. So I've continued to try to engage with my community, but I have been sort of selfishly putting my own music first. That was an opportunity for me to help put the spotlight on people that I thought were underrepresented or they hadn't had enough time in the spotlight, in my opinion.
That's what resonated with me so much about that program, because at KKFI, where I'm on the air, that is our mission, is to give a voice to those that are ignored or underserved by mainstream corporate media. Mm-hmm. And I love that the series that you were trying to, and did put a spotlight on the generative work of our local gig community, mm-hmm. that go out and play, at the Black Dolphin or the Green Lady Lounge and cover all the standards or whatever, but are not encouraged for one reason or one way or another to play their own music or to write their own music. And she was giving them the opportunity and safe space, mm-hmm. to do that. And I think it is a function, one of our functions at the Heartland Song Network is to try to also educate audiences how to listen and how to be open to different genres of music and different ways of consuming music. I know my tastes change over the year on how I want to consume music, but kudos to you for, I think, do you think about continuing that effort in some way?
In one way it did continue. Charlotte Street now has a series that they moved to once, I think it's every other month, but it's called the Proto Lab series, and that was born out of Spine Showcases. I'm not a producer on it, but I did get to showcase my work once. But Charlotte Street, and I do still work with Charlotte Street in some capacities, they've been able to continue to carry that torch. They're a little more expansive. I was really honing in on our jazz community and jazz composers, and they've even broadened it beyond there. So,
what's next for you?
Next, I am recording an album to get out my original things, and not all originals, but some jazz standards as well, and some covers that I love to do, like 10 cc's, I'm Not in Love. Hear it with a jazz quartet, you'll never go back. I mean, it's one of the best songs. So working on that, and I'll be going to Florida in January to do the Escape to Create residency and work on new material there.
What's the best way for folks to access what you're doing and keep up with you?
Best way to keep up is to get on my mailing list. You can find that by going to kelleygant.com. Okay, so instead of pulling out a guitar like a person with some sense who could just, not have to bring so many cords and cables and need electricity nearby, instead of doing that, because I never really could quite get the hang of it, I am a vocalist that, I usually sing with an ensemble of jazz musicians like piano, bass, and drums. But when I'm doing things on a solo level, I sometimes sample those musicians and put them into this machine to play with, or I use this to use my voice in a bigger way so that I can sing over my voice. And I'll give you a brief demonstration, and then there might be more questions after this. I don't know. This usually does create some questions, but this is just a really cool machine that allows me to overdub. So I can set up something that I want to sing over. Instead of, striking a chord on a piano, I can set it up here. So sometimes it takes a while. Unfortunately, that's the downside. The nice thing is that I know how to do it, and I still don't know how to play the guitar. So I thought, since this is I can do sort of a retrospective, perhaps, of how I've used this tool. And this tool has gotten more complex. I've had different models over the years. But the very first song that I ever wrote on my loop station, or for my loop station, is this next song. And I'm not going to set the whole thing up on the loop, because if I do that, it is a 6-minute song. And the song is literally about nothing. It's about doing nothing. So I don't want to take all your time. I pre-recorded today so that I can do a quicker version. But these are all the layers that I recorded earlier today, so that I can sing you this song. And at the time that I wrote these words, every word was true, but I would like you to know that I've gotten better since then. I take more responsibility, I take more initiative, and I'm doing well. I play computer solitaire very well. I've got more than 1,000 games racked up on free cell, and I've won 881. I haven't done anything good with my time. And the best thing I've done all day is make up this pretty rhyme. I do nothing, really truly nothing. I do nothing. I do nothing, really truly nothing. I do nothing. I've got cantaloupe so old that I'm afraid to open up the Tupperware. I've got mayonnaise and kimchi and ketchup, peanut butter and jam, but I haven't got any bread. I've been hungry all day, but I can't seem to get the grocery shopping done. Sitting around in my underwear popping marshmallows is much more fun, but it's still not very fun. I do nothing, absolutely nothing. moment that I want to improve. I can't promise that I'll do better tomorrow, but I'll say that I'll try. I could tell you that it's all just temporary. I'm sure that someday I'll go back outside. I do nothing, absolutely nothing. I do nothing. I do nothing, really truly nothing. I do nothing, nothing, nothing. I do nothing, absolutely nothing. I do nothing. I do nothing, absolutely nothing. I do nothing. I do nothing. Thank you. You will be pleased to know I have won a lot more games on Free Cell since then. I don't know what the number is right now because I had to, get a new computer and I couldn't take the history with me, but it was a lot.
Was that you whistling?
That was me whistling.
Well done.
Thank you. This next song, this will be an example of so that's where I started with the looper. It's the same thing over and over and over again, and it does get to be a bit much of the same thing. But luckily, I figured out a way to do songs that are a little bit more complex, and I also started using this delay pedal to kind of make it also a little bit more interesting as a solo performer. And this is also something, I use all this with the band as well, but this is a good way to use it here. Let's see. Boom, doo 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 doo. Alright, sorry guys, it's a little bit feedbacky up here. And I haven't learned how to be a sound engineer yet, and Alan, it might be too big a job to do anyway. As long as nobody's ears are ringing, I will continue. This is a song that, caveat, not every word of this is true. None of these words probably are true for me personally. Oh, give me lots of stuff. I need so much stuff. Give it to me on Christmas and on my birthday. Give it to me on Easter in a little plastic egg. I need lots of stuff. I need so much stuff. I need stuff in the closets, and I need stuff in the hall. See so much stuff in my bedroom, it's nearly bulging the walls. I need lots of stuff. I need so much stuff. And when it breaks, I'll throw it away. Break. When I'm through with stuff, I need lots of things. Things that haunt me, things that keep me awake. There are things that keep me sane. So I can throw it away. When it breaks, so I can replace my stuff. Thank you. All right. So since I grew up listening to jazz and swing, she did a version of Smile, which is a song actually by Charlie Chaplin that you may be familiar with. Smile, though your heart is aching. Smile, even though it's breaking. You know, it's a great sentiment. It's a little old-fashioned compared to what some of us believe nowadays. So I wrote this song as a response to that. This is more of a feel your feelings, let it out. You don't have to smile necessarily all the time, and you can sing along with how bad you feel sometimes. So this song is called Song of Desperation. And when I wrote it, every word was true. Sing a song of desperation.
whistle?
I didn't, so, it's hard to teach a person how to whistle. I've tried to teach others how to whistle, but my mother's father was a great whistler and just very musical. So once I knew it was possible, I sort of, pursed my lips and blew until I could figure out how to do it like he could. And I never could do it the way that a normal person can whistle. So when I was a kid, I realized that if I could stick out my jaw and create more space in my face instead of, that's kind of the regular whistle. I get a lot more strength and better intonation if I do kind of just a micro adjustment. So if you are a whistler and you haven't tried that, maybe give it a shot.
Why did you choose not to do music school in college?
I think I just really wanted to be practical, and I didn't have a lot of ambition, and I didn't really believe that I could have a career in music because, well, one time I told a babysitter I wanted to be a singer like Paula Abdul, and she laughed. And I don't know if it's because I said like Paula Abdul or if it was just funny, the idea that when I wanted to be a singer when I grew up. But before the days of YouTube and before I lived in a city of this size, I didn't realize that somebody could be a middle-income musician and live and work doing music. I thought you either, hit it big or you became a teacher, and I didn't figure I'd be very likely to do either one of those very well. So I actually studied hotel and restaurant management instead. That was fun, and it was practical, and I never forgot how to sing or whistle, so here we are. I do have this song that was recently written. It's a love song. And since I don't always like to sing about serious things from my first-hand perspective, sometimes I use another protagonist. And in this case, I sing it as the character of a recently dead and unearthed zombie. So if anyone here is afraid of zombies, I'm not going to do this song. They are terrifying. This zombie is just love-struck, though. He's not really a threat to anyone. But also, it helps to know that background when I start singing, because the words are a little weird if you don't realize what the heck is going on. Before I met you, my life had no color. After my death, it was more of the same. My favorite part about living had been you, dear, and your stunning brain. And then not silence or darkness, just nothing.
It's a long way down for a rotting corpse, and now my appetite isn't quite what it was before. Though I still want only you, I dare say that I hunger more than I did before. If it wasn't for you, what else would I be here for? Oh, if it wasn't for you, then would I even be here? If not for you, how would I even be here? If it weren't for you, tell me why would I want? Why this grotesque encore? All I know is I missed you. Woke up remembering the first time I kissed you. The smell of your perfume was in the air, so I took a deep breath of your hair. And then my own smell suddenly hit me. I can't wash it off, I can't make it quit me. I had to find you, I knew you would see. I'm not a monster, I'm just the same old me. Except everybody's scared of me now. I just wanna sit with my face in the sun, but if it gets burned now, I know it won't be undone. It'll all slough off in icky little flakes, and I can't grow more of it to be replaced. Why am I here? It's unclear. I could just live in your refrigerator. I'd pass you the milk. We could go out on Halloween. If my heart could beat, I know you'd hear. I need to know if you could love me, dear. I know I've changed, but I'm here. I wanna know, could you still love me, dear? That's the only reason I'm here.
Thank you. All right, I'm Kelley Gant. Kelley with two E's. Gant like Grant, minus the R.